Okay, here's to another episode of
Save It for the Therapist!
Where I'm not saving it for the therapist, I'm saving it for social media. And I'm just going to open up and talk about different things that I do feel vulnerable about and actually work through it. See what happens. I don't know why I'm being asked to do this, but I just feel really like it might be enlightening or fun. Okay, I haven't even processed this, but I've realized I've had some major breakthroughs the last week. And it's been an intense week for everybody. I know this. But I do really believe we each need to go within and get a handle on ourselves, because the outward world is pushing, prodding, putting agendas on us, pumping us with information, pumping us with too much information. Then we get confused, then we get opinionated and adrenalized, okay? So this morning, I felt like this thought came in that I'm like a crack baby. Okay, bear with me, okay? I haven't been around crack babies. I've just read a little bit and it sounds horrific. So I'm not making light of that at all, you'll see. But I'm like, what is up? Why did this crack baby thought come in? Well, because what I'm realizing for my own soul journey, my own life, I've come into this world as a small child, a baby, and through my upbringing and the way that maybe I was designed, I do feel like I don't want to call myself a pure soul because it just sounds, I don't know, but I feel like I am. Like I'm just a very innocent kind of being. Like I never really thought anybody would hurt anybody. Very much myself. And felt like everybody was gonna love it, and I love them when they're themselves. Like, I don't know, it's just like, yeah. Well, that's not how life is. I mean, you're gonna get slapped down. I'm now realizing this as an older person. Anyway, from birth, coming into this world, and then with my upbringing, which you know as children, we are like a sponge. And much like the sweet crack baby, they didn't mean to get addicted to crack. They didn't mean to feel horrible and cry all the time when they're not then getting the chemical that maybe made them feel somehow normal. Okay, so what I'm realizing is I was very highly adrenalized. Like I didn't want to be, I wanted to just be in a natural state, right? Of just, oh, happiness and joy. But what happened was certain things in my family would and over a consistent pattern, almost like a drug, was being like anxiety would be injected on into me, of almost like if you were very calm and then someone came up and startled you or shook you and said, what are you gonna do? Okay, for example, and you're like, I don't know, like instilling fear in. And throughout my life, that just kept happening and happening, where it was like my body turned into just being addicted to this adrenaline that was drama, or because I had to be like, because that's how it felt, like everything was a problem or I was doing it wrong. And so that was my internal feelings. I'm going to jump to a little example here. And I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus, okay? As a mom, I've done a lot of really dumb things that I didn't mean to do, but nonetheless, they were probably hurtful to my kids. I didn't mean to. Okay, so I'm trying to do a disclaimer because I want to, I guess, share this story. I was little, like maybe 5, maybe 6, I'm not sure. But I was in kindergarten, and our little homework assignment was to figure out what we wanted to be when we grew up, and then tell everybody, okay? So, you know, me, I guess Generation X is my generation. We were nurses or firemen or teachers. What else? Those basic, maybe even kind of blue collar choices only. You know, that what you were going to be when you grew up. Very limited. But I was so excited as an innocent child because I had a different dream that was like no other dream. And just the thought of it, I was so excited that my brain even had this very, what I was thinking, original thought of what I wanted to be when I grew up. So I remember my mom, and I remember everything. She was stirring a pot of spaghetti noodles at the stove, and I remember approaching her with such excitement, and I knew she was going to be like, I just felt like the normal thing was that when I tell her this, she's going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't wait, and tell me more about it, okay? I know you're wondering, well, what did you want to be? All right, I'll tell you. So I went up to her, I said, Mom, you know what I want to be when I grow up? And she was like, what? And I said, I want to write commercial jingles. And I don't know what I termed it, like sing songs like the commercials had songs. And I want to analyze dreams. So those were two things. Somehow I put it into little girl terms and said it to my mom. And I was just so excited. I didn't even know what this meant. But I was so proud of myself, you guys. My mom didn't even really look up. She just kept stirring the noodles. And she said, well, those aren't jobs. Okay. I left that conversation so deflated that my brain didn't work right, that was stupid instead of genius, and that I can't trust myself. Isn't that weird? All of that from that conversation. And from then on, I always remembered it, but I remember, go back to the drawing board, Shelley, because I felt so defeated of like, guess I'll be a teacher. So I might have to wrap this up, but